Bookface, and welcome to my childhood wish fulfillment. Now, when I was a kid, I was the ultimate Ben 10 nerd, and now I wish to regain that title. And how better to accomplish this than to combine my past nerdiness with my current nerdiness. So in this video, I'll be going over my version of the Omnitrix and the aliens therein, as well as creating my own unique playlists of 10 aliens each. And all these aliens are based off of real-life alien sightings. There's more guidelines to what I'm doing and a bit of a concept overview in the description so that I wouldn't have a 10-minute long intro. So if any of this is weird or confusing to you, you can check that to see what rules I'm holding myself to. So with that out of the way, it's hero time. So our first alien on this playlist is the Arachnichimp, known to Ben as Spider Monkey. Now this alien was a weird one to find a comparison for, and honestly, of all the comparisons I have, this is the one I'm least confident in. So our universe's version of the Arachnichimp, I believe, are these aliens referred to as the Venezuelan hairy dwarves, which create the transformation I call Monclaw. So, the obvious comparison here is that this creature is similar/smaller than a human, with some simian qualities. Now, the spider details are pretty difficult to find a comparison for. I looked for quite a bit to see if I could find anything that was mostly spidery, but I couldn't. So, the best comparison I can get in terms of abilities is that, along with, the basic monkey stuff, this version of the Arachnichimp has incredibly powerful claws, which, climbs kind of like the whole wall crawling thing, and as a bonus, Monclaw has super high strength and ultra durable skin and fur, which in the sighting of the Venezuelan hairy dwarves was capable of deflecting a knife getting stabbed directly into it, so this thing's durable. Our second alien on the playlist is from the Splen DNA, known to Ben as Ditto. I was honestly shocked I found a really good comparison for this one. These aliens, simply called the Newport multiplying aliens, because it's a random sighting without any popularity that gives it a cool nickname, or as I call them, these aliens are small humanoids and were witnessed multiplying from 3 to 6 to 8 and eventually 10 individuals. They've also got distinctly white faces, which kind of fits Ditto's design pretty nice. Now, as an added power, because let's be honest, Ditto became kind of useless as soon as Echo was introduced, this version of the Splen can actually fly. I mean, technically, Ditto did sort of fly that one time when he was introduced. Alien number 3 comes from the Citrakayah species aliens, referred to by Ben as Fast Track. And for those of you saying I should have done Accelerate instead, haha, I do what I want. Anyways, in this universe, we can look to the South River Sprinting Alien, or as I call it, Sprint Sign. This alien, when sighted, was compared to a sprinter, which drew part of the specific comparison since Accelerate more rolls around on weird rollerblade feet rather than actually running. Also, this creature was said to have a very awkward running gait, which also fits Fast Track pretty well considering how awkwardly he was added into the show, only to disappear after hardly doing anything. I personally like Fast Track, but I cannot deny how weird all that was. There are obvious visual differences, with Fast Track kind of being like the Flash with a cat head, and this one being a metal man with a fishbowl head. There are two possible explanations for this, and I'll let you pick which one you like best. A, the Citrakayah has to wear a protective suit because maybe it doesn't breathe the same air. I need it! Or because other planets aren't suited for it to move at such high speeds. Kind of like the whole Speed Force thing in DC, explaining how the Flash can move so incredibly fast without destroying physics or his own body. Basically, this would replace that Speed Force. Piscus Volann, or Ripjaws, comes in at number 4. And our version of this is the Sushivo Aquatic Alien, or as I call it, and honestly, this one's a pretty simple connection. Humanoid, fish/reptile combination, along with the fact that it has really sharp teeth, but because I don't want it to just be generic off-brand Ripjaws. The sighting of this creature also was associated with some mysterious fog, so we're gonna add that to this creature's abilities as some weird smokescreen. Additionally, this version of Piscus Volann would likely have at least some simple lungs along with its gills, thus removing the requirement to always have water or a breathing apparatus. But to replace this issue, I'd say that it's extremely vulnerable to temperature changes, being a hybrid of two cold-blooded creatures. Bit of a trade-off there. For number 5, we have the Biosovortian, known to Ben as Lodestar. Our version of this comes from the alien known as the San Carlos Magnetic Alien. This alien reportedly created a magnetic field around itself, which, it's magnets, of course it's Lodestar, especially because, well, the specific magnetic field thing. Lodestar did do that one time, never did it again. Interestingly enough, the San Carlos magnetic alien also had... Wait, did I put the name?
Magnets Mike.
I was like, man, that was a mouthful. It'd be good if I had a name for... And I just remembered the name. And we're moving on. This alien also had some other weird similarities with Lodestar's design, such as the two-tone brown suit over its entire body, which kind of resemble Lodestar's coloration, and the hair, which goes up into 2 points, which kind of reminds me of Lodestar's shoulders. It's not a perfect match, considering Lodestar is like a large robot, and this guy's just a little dude, but it's closer than I expected. I'd say his magnetic field generation is the main use of his abilities, and I'd also probably remove the regenerative abilities. This one feels like a weird knockoff of Lodestar, but you know what? I'm actually cool with it, because it's definitely different. At number 6, we've got our sample of Loboan DNA, briefly referred to as Benwolf, before its name was very stupidly changed to Blitzwolfer. In this universe, though, it's the Turin alien dogman, which I call... I never said my names were good, I just said Blitzwolfer is stupid. Other than my shade at Omniverse and its naming, I actually have very little to say about this one. It's an alien werewolf, that's really all I needed to hear. If I were to find something that's a closer fit, it would have to literally be a one-to-one recreation of Benwolf in real life. Sadly, I can't really give this thing the weird laser howl that Loboans have, but I can give it the ability to paralyze other creatures with fear through its gaze or its loud howl. Our 7th alien is of the species Gimlinopithecus, which Ben calls Shock Squatch, and I, as a cryptozoology fan myself, call heavy-handed, especially with its homeworld of Pattersonia. They really thought they were clever. Our version of this alien is the Punta Cana glowing gorilla alien, what a mouthful, which I appropriately call... Now, finding a Bigfoot kind of alien actually isn't that difficult, but because of that, I felt like if I wanted to do Shock Squatch, I had to find an alien that at least somewhat captured the electrical aspect as well. Now, glowing is not exactly the same as being electrified. It's a lot closer than I thought I would get. Additionally, this creature had some other details that weirdly fit, such as the fact that it was described as wearing what looked like a white poncho, which very closely imitates the original design of Shock Squatch with its white fur, which, by the way, I like better than the later design. A little more shaded Omniverse, but fight me. Glowing isn't the same as lightning, but it is still some sort of energy, presumably. So I'd say this version of Shock Squatch has less lightning bolts and more like lasers or light blasts and stuff like that. Alien number 8 is the Omnitrix sample of Florauna DNA, lovingly called Wildvine by Ben. Our version is the Veggie Man, which I call... So of course the immediate connection is the plant-like nature of these two aliens. Additionally, Wildvine and this alien both have extremely pointy fingers, thorns decorating their body, and oddly enough, the large ears of the Veggie Man very much resemble the weird flytrap neck thing that Wildvine has. A lot of the varied abilities of Wildvine have to kind of be shelved because they really come out of the woodwork. Get it? So this version of the Florauna uses its needle-like fingers and thorns to attack, often draining blood, as well as growing large thorns along its body for attack and defense. It also utilizes its thin body for extremely fast movement. Unfortunately, because of how literally stick-thin this thing is, it loses most of the defensive and regenerative abilities as Wildvine. It's a fast attacker, but it cannot take a hit. If this thing takes a hit, it is down. At number 9, we start getting a bit vaguer with an unknown species, shown in Ben 10 through the alien Argit. I always liked this character in the alien, wish they did more with him. Our version of this alien is the Ventura quilled alien, which I call...
Quill Bill.
Simply put, I found an alien with quills, and the comparison was pretty obvious. The body structure is also kind of there, and you could maybe argue the glowing eyes, but we all know this is about the quills. So I believe this creature would have agility and a surprising degree of strength, similar to chimpanzees. And this will have to make up for the fact that while it can still fire its quills, I can't really explain the ability for Argit's quills to render people unconscious or paralyzed when they're hit. These quills don't paralyze, they just poke real bad. It still works, it's just not quite the same. Number 10 ends up being the weirdest of all of these aliens. So technically, Ben can turn into this alien, which is from an unknown species, which he calls the Darkness. But this alien is an exclusive transformation to a Ben from another dimension. However, we see it multiple times throughout the show as a background character living in Undertown. But as confusing as its continuity is, I still found a pretty solid connection with the North Carolina Eldritch Bear alien.
Night Bear.
editing book face here. I just thought it was notable that since this creature has a bear-like body and sort of antennae, that it could possibly be a relation to a creature called the bugbear in folklore, which could explain its whole darkness powers. I just thought that was interesting. The vaguely bear-like structure of this alien and its ability to supposedly control darkness absolutely fits with an alien that looks like a bear with these horrifying tentacle features. As for the powers, which are apparently darkness manipulation, sure, why not? I wouldn't put it past this thing. Maybe add Topic's horror face ability, since it kind of seems like an Eldritch horror. And you know what? Why not have those tentacles go out for extra attacks? Let's end this playlist with a bang. And there we have the first playlist of Omnitrix aliens using real-life alien sightings as the basis. I love doing this. Studying aliens is the weirdest of the weird for what I do, but this made it super fun. What Ben 10 aliens would you like to see next? Comment them and I'll try to find a comparison. Also, if you liked this video, please let me know, because this took a lot out of me. I literally had to go through a couple decades of alien sightings one by one, looking for comparisons. I'm tired. See you next time. Bye.